These 7 foods are why you can't perform in bed anymore. You're doing everything right, gym, sleep, supplements, but still can't perform. It's the food sabotaging your results behind the scenes. Stick around and I'll expose the 7 biggest culprits. Number 1. Soy products elevate estrogen in men. Replacing animal protein with soy milk, tofu, and processed meat alternatives because they're marketed as heart healthy and modern. Eliminate soy-based products entirely from your diet and return to whole food protein sources that support masculine hormonal balance. Soy contains phytoestrogens, plant compounds that mimic estrogen in your body. When you consume soy regularly, these compounds bind to estrogen receptors, triggering the same biological responses as female hormones. Your body doesn't distinguish between plant estrogen and the real thing. It responds by downregulating testosterone production to maintain what it perceives as hormonal balance. The effect isn't theoretical. Studies show measurable testosterone reduction within weeks of regular soy consumption. Your body interprets the estrogenic signal as abundance, shutting down the hormonal pathways that drive libido, erection quality, and sexual aggression. You become biochemically passive. Soy hides everywhere. Protein bars, vegetarian products, coffee creamers, processed foods using soy lecithin as emulsifiers. That morning latte with soy milk, it's dosing you with estrogen before your day begins. The plant-based lunch that feels virtuous, it's systematically feminizing your hormone profile. This matters beyond performance. Elevated estrogen redistributes body fat toward feminine patterns, chest tissue development, lower belly accumulation, reduced muscle density. Your physique changes because your endocrine system is receiving conflicting signals about your biological sex. Number 2. Processed seed oils destroy vascular function. Cooking with canola, vegetable, or sunflower oil because they're labeled heart healthy and recommended by conventional nutritional guidelines. Use only animal fats, olive oil, or coconut oil, fats that don't oxidize under heat and don't damage your arterial lining. Seed oils undergo industrial extraction involving high heat, chemical solvents, and deodorization. The polyunsaturated fats they contain are chemically unstable. When heated during cooking or inside your body, they oxidize, creating inflammatory compounds that directly damage the endothelial cells lining your blood vessels. Sexual performance requires pristine vascular function. Erections depend on rapid blood vessel dilation and sustained blood flow under pressure. When your arterial walls are chronically inflamed from oxidized oils, they lose elasticity. The smooth muscle tissue that controls dilation becomes dysfunctional. Blood flow becomes restricted, not just to reproductive organs, but system-wide. You'll notice this first during physical intimacy. Inconsistent firmness, difficulty maintaining rigidity. These aren't psychological issues. They're vascular mechanical failures caused by cumulative arterial damage. Seed oils dominate restaurant cooking, packaged foods, salad dressings, and mayonnaise. That business lunch you didn't prepare yourself? Those vegetables were likely sautéed in inflammatory oils. The healthy salad you ordered? The dressing contains soybean oil. Number 3. Sugar crashes testosterone within 2 hours. Consuming high-sugar foods throughout the day, breakfast pastries and then sweetened coffee, afternoon energy bars, desserts after dinner, believing they provide needed energy. What to do instead? Eliminate refined sugars and maintain stable blood glucose through protein, healthy fats, and complex carbohydrates that won't trigger insulin spikes. When you consume sugar, your blood glucose spikes dramatically. Your pancreas responds by flooding your system with insulin to clear that glucose. This insulin surge directly suppresses testosterone production. Research demonstrates testosterone levels drop up to 25% within 2 hours of sugar consumption. That afternoon slump you experience? It's not just energy, it's hormonal collapse. The mechanism is brutal. Insulin signals your body to store energy and reduce output. Testosterone represents metabolic intensity, aggression, muscle building, high energy expenditure, sexual function. Your body can't maintain both high insulin and high testosterone simultaneously. It chooses survival over reproduction. Performance becomes biologically impossible. Sugar also feeds gut bacteria that produce endotoxins, creating systemic inflammation that further suppresses testosterone synthesis. Your hormonal production doesn't occur in isolation. It requires a clean internal environment. Chronic sugar consumption creates constant low-grade inflammation that your endocrine system interprets as stress, further downregulating sexual hormones. Number 4. Alcohol numbs nerve sensitivity and arousal. Regular drinking, wine with dinner, beers during social events, weekend cocktails, treating alcohol as a harmless social lubricant that helps you relax. What to do instead? Minimize alcohol to rare occasions, understanding that every drink directly impairs the neurological pathways required for arousal and physical response. Alcohol is a central nervous system depressant. It doesn't just relax you, it systematically reduces nerve signal transmission throughout your body. Sexual function depends on extraordinarily sensitive neurological communication. Arousal signals from your brain, blood flow responses, sensation feedback, muscular control. Alcohol disrupts every link in that chain. Alcohol impairs the hypothalamic pituitary gonadal axis that regulates testosterone production. It increases aromatase enzyme activity, converting whatever testosterone you have into estrogen. It damages Leydig cells in your testes that produce testosterone. Chronic drinking creates a permanent state of hormonal suppression. Beyond hormones, alcohol reduces penile sensitivity. The same mechanism that makes your speech slur and your movements clumsy dulls the nerve endings required for physical response. You're literally numbing the equipment you need to function. Successful men often use alcohol for networking and stress management, but the cost is measurable. Reduced sleep quality, hormonal disruption, and systematically degraded sexual capacity. The solution requires honest evaluation. Is social convention worth biological dysfunction? Your performance suggests it isn't. Number 5. Dairy inflammation blocks nitric oxide production. Consuming dairy daily, milk, cheese, yogurt, whey protein, believing it's essential for protein intake and bone health. Eliminate or dramatically reduce dairy, particularly from conventional sources, and observe how inflammation-related performance issues resolve. Dairy triggers inflammatory responses in most adults. Lactose intolerance isn't binary. Most people exist on a spectrum of dairy sensitivity that creates chronic low-grade inflammation. This inflammation directly interferes with nitric oxide production, the molecule absolutely critical for blood vessel dilation and erectile function. Nitric oxide signals smooth muscle tissue and arterial walls to relax, allowing increased blood flow. Without adequate nitric oxide, the hydraulic mechanism of erection fails mechanically. Dairy-induced inflammation suppresses the enzymes that synthesize nitric oxide, creating a physiological bottleneck. Modern dairy contains additional problems. Conventional milk comes from pregnant cows, containing elevated levels of estrogen and progesterone. You're consuming female reproductive hormones with every glass. The casein protein in dairy also triggers inflammatory cascades in sensitive individuals, creating systemic inflammation that your body interprets as chronic stress. The cheese you add to every meal, the protein shakes after workouts, the yogurt you consider healthy, each serving potentially compromises nitric oxide availability. You won't feel this as obvious inflammation. You'll experience it as inconsistent performance, reduced firmness, difficulty achieving full rigidity. Testing this requires commitment. Eliminate all dairy for 3 weeks. Monitor your response. Most men report dramatically improved morning function within 10 days. The evidence becomes undeniable when your body suddenly cooperates again without pharmaceutical intervention. Number 6, the meat and fat combination that reverses this. Following low-fat dietary guidelines, choosing lean proteins, and avoiding saturated fats because of outdated cholesterol concerns. What to do instead? Consume fatty cuts of red meat, prioritize animal fats, and understand that cholesterol is the precursor molecule your body uses to manufacture testosterone. Your body synthesizes testosterone from cholesterol. Without adequate dietary fat and cholesterol, you're starving your endocrine system of raw materials. Red meat provides both complete protein for tissue repair, saturated fat for hormone production, and nutrients like zinc and B vitamins essential for testosterone synthesis. The demonization of saturated fat created a generation of hormonally deficient men. Fat doesn't cause dysfunction, it enables function. Ribeye steak, lamb chops, fatty fish, these aren't indulgences. They're hormonal medicine. Your ancestors didn't experience the performance epidemics modern men face. They consumed whole animals, prioritized organ meats, and never feared fat. The return to ancestral eating patterns consistently restores what modern dietary guidelines destroyed. Number 7. Oysters and pomegranate for blood flow. Ignoring specific foods with proven vascular and hormonal benefits, assuming generic healthy eating is sufficient. What to do instead? Strategically incorporate oysters and pomegranate into your routine for their concentrated effects on zinc levels and nitric oxide production. Oysters contain more zinc per serving than any other food. Zinc directly supports testosterone production and sperm health. 6 oysters provide several times your daily zinc requirement, a concentrated hormonal boost that's immediately bioavailable. Pomegranate increases nitric oxide synthesis and protects existing nitric oxide from degradation. Studies show pomegranate juice consumption improves erectile function within weeks through enhanced blood flow. The polyphenols in pomegranate also reduce arterial plaque and improve vascular flexibility. These aren't supplements. They're whole foods with centuries of historical use for male vitality. The concentration of beneficial compounds makes them uniquely powerful. Incorporate oysters weekly. Drink pomegranate juice or eat the whole fruit regularly. These targeted additions work synergistically with removing the problematic foods above. If you've made it this far, do something for me. Comment the word "perform" below. It helps me understand who's actually watching completely and who's serious about implementation. As a thank you for sticking with us to this stage of the video, here's a bonus point that's even more critical than everything discussed so far. Bonus point: your gut health determines sexual health. Ignoring digestive function, experiencing regular bloating or irregular bowel movements, and assuming these issues are separate from sexual performance. What to do instead? Prioritize gut health through fermented foods, elimination of inflammatory triggers, and understanding that your microbiome controls hormone metabolism and neurotransmitter production. 70% of your immune system resides in your gut. The bacteria there metabolize hormones, produce neurotransmitters, and either create inflammation or prevent it. Poor gut health means poor hormone regulation. It's mechanically connected. An unhealthy gut produces endotoxins that leak into your bloodstream, triggering chronic inflammation that suppresses testosterone. The same bacteria influence serotonin and dopamine production, directly affecting libido and mood. Fermented foods, sauerkraut, kimchi, kefir introduce beneficial bacteria. Bone broth heals intestinal lining. Eliminating processed foods removes what feeds pathogenic bacteria. Your gut is the foundation. Fix it first, and every other intervention becomes more effective. Ignore it and nothing else fully works. To recap everything: number 1, eliminate soy products destroying your hormonal balance. Number 2, remove seed oils damaging your vascular system. Number 3, cut sugar that crashes testosterone within hours. Number 4, minimize alcohol numbing your nervous system. Number 5, reduce dairy blocking nitric oxide. Number 6, increase fatty meat providing hormonal building blocks. And number 7, add oysters and pomegranate for targeted benefits. These aren't suggestions, they're requirements for restoring what you've lost. If this information helped you understand what's been sabotaging your results, like this video to support our growth and help its visibility on YouTube. Subscribe to our channel for daily content like this. We're committed to providing information that actually works. Share this video with someone you know will benefit from watching it. We've recommended the video on your screen for you to watch next. See you back tomorrow.